Hello name nerds, my name is Patrick and welcome to Fun with First Names, where each week we look into the meaning, origin and some extra fun facts behind one specific first name. And this week we're looking at the first name of Margot. But before we begin, I need to say a huge thank you to all my latest super thanks. There were so many this week and that was so great to see. So a huge thank you to one, Aikida Hakabu, apologies for pronunciation there, Civil Living, Rosie, Toby Poinder, and Garlic and Glitter, which is a great name by the way. Garlic and Glitter, big fan of that one. Thank you guys all so much. Super thanks are a great way to make a one-time donation to the channel here on Name Explained. If you want to help support it financially, you can do that all down below. There's some button you can click below this video. But if you want to donate on a monthly basis, please do consider becoming a patron. You go to patreon.com/Name Explained. There'll be a link down below. Just $1 a month helps out in a huge way. You get ad-free videos, exclusive content, a chance to say what names are explained here on the channel, and your name at the end of these videos. So I think it's a pretty good deal. And one other little update before we get into today's video. My usual editor Amber is busy this week, so she isn't able to edit this video. So it's on me to edit this one. So if this one looks a little bit more hokey and a bit more crap than the usual ones, that's the reason why. Amber will be back with the next video though. But anyway, on with today's name of Margot. And Margot is a name that's really picking up in popularity across the world at the moment. However, despite it being popular across the world, it has its origins in French. Well, kind of. Margot is the diminutive form of the French form of the name Margaret, hence why they sound pretty similar. I think we might have covered Margaret before. I can't remember. Did we do how Margaret became Peggy? I think we might have done that. I've honestly lost track. But it all ultimately comes from the ancient Greek name of Margaritis. I think I pronounced that right. I definitely did check. Unfortunately, my ancient Greek isn't the best to say the least. This of course means that Margot and its ancient Greek form and its French form have the same meaning as the name Margaret, which means pearls, as in, you know, the little shiny ball things you find in oysters or clams or whatever. This Greek name of course became Margaret in English and Marguerite in French. Then of course that French form of the name was shortened to just Margot, which has become a popular name unto itself. And while that explains the origins of the name Margot, it doesn't explain the strangest part of this name, well the part I think is strangest anyway. That being the T at the end of the name Margot. Now there is a version of this name without the T there, but the version with the T is far more popular. And of course, we don't say it. This name isn't Margot, it's Margot. So why is that silent T even there if we don't use it? Well, it all has to do with the fact that Margot is a French name. And the French language, I would say, I don't know the French specifically, but the French language bloody loves a silent letter. They especially love a silent T at the end of a word. Most French words that end with a T, that T isn't pronounced. If you want a T to be pronounced at the end of a word, you stick an E on there as well, and then just don't pronounce the E, I guess. Yeah, French love a silent T. Bloody love one. Especially at the end of a word anyway. And as Margot ends with a T and it's a French name, that means that T remains silent. But why is French so fond of these silent letters anyway? It all seems to do with this language's history, and initially, I imagine, and a lot of other people more qualified than myself, imagine that those silent letters in French probably weren't silent to begin with. When the French language was evolving into the language you know it as today from its initial forebearer of Latin, a lot of those letters were still probably said in words. Like Margot might have even been said as Margot, and you know, other examples like that. So when it came to writing down these letters, these words, we shoved those letters in there because they were said, so we shoved them in there. That makes sense, right? But as the language evolved, and more specifically the way that people spoke the language evolved too, those certain letters started not being said out loud. We don't know why this was the case exactly, but it most likely has to do with the French accent. The French accent seemingly shifted to a way in which certain letters weren't said out loud in certain instances. This might sound strange, but it's actually really common for certain accents to struggle with certain letters, or just choose not to use certain letters. Like here in England, with certain English accents, T's are dropped all together, especially in the middle of words. It's quite common in South-East accents. Let's say water becomes water, like that's quite commonly done here. Even like T is often pronounced more of a CH, like tube, like YouTube. I say YouTube, where an American would more likely say YouTube, like there's something about the letter T here in English that doesn't always agree with us, evidently. And another great example is the whole L and R sound mix up in many East Asian languages too. That's often been documented. Normally quite stereotypically, that's not entirely fair, but it is a thing that seemingly happens. And that the French accent deciding to not say T's at the end of words is just another example of a language and an accent not agreeing with certain letters, evidently. But when accents change the way words are said and drop specific letters, it very rarely affects the actual written form of that word. The word Margot and many other French words were set in stone, quite literally set in stone I imagine, way before the accent changed how they were said out loud, so those written forms stuck and those silent letters maintained. And that is why the name Margot, as well as many other French words, end with a silent T. However, there's actually a different spelling variation of Margot I love as well, which is very distinctly French and features a different silent letter. That being the Margot spelling with the AUX at the end. I always love the AUX, making that sort of ooh sound. And here's a great example of that as well. Margot like that should be way more popular. That's just such a cool spelling of the name Margot. Like, someone name their kid for that. Someone name their kid that for me, please. Blah. There you go. I'm not going to do a second take. Like I said, Amber's not here. She ain't going to fix it. I ain't going to fix it. As I mentioned, Margot is a supremely popular name at the moment. In the USA, it's the 194th most popular girl's name. It's really on the rise. It'll be in the top 100 soon enough. And here in the UK, it is already in the top 100. It is, I need to double check there, the 57th most popular girl's name. So it's even more popular here in the UK than in the USA. That's awesome. It's a great name. I really like the name Margot. Let's celebrate the name Margot. Just sounds fun. Famous Margaux include, of course, Margot Robbie. She is probably the reason this name is spiking so much in popularity at the moment. She is a terrific actor. I am so excited for the upcoming Barbie film. Looks amazing, doesn't it? Looks so confusing and bizarre, but I'm there for that. But there's also one Margot Lum, I believe the name is. I could double check again, but I'm not going to. She was a famous squash player, and she just looks rad as well. I love those photos of her with her squash racket. And there was also one Margot Kidder. She is another actor, and she is seemingly most well known for playing Lois Lane in the original Superman films. Are they the best Superman films? Quite potentially. But anyway, that's just about everything you guys need to know about the name Margot. But what are your thoughts on this name? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Do you know anyone with the name Margot? Are you called Margot yourself? Let me know down in the comments below. And of course, I just want to share some of the thoughts that you guys had on last week's name of Sanjay. Ramit Chatterjee said, the Sanskrit language doesn't have a particular alphabet. You can write Sanskrit in any alphabet possible. Devangali, Bengali, Tamil, and even English also. What you should was the Devangari, apologize for pronunciation there, alphabet, the script for Hindi language, not Sanskrit. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. I wish I knew that going into this video. Like I said, I did a lot of research into Sanskrit, but clearly not enough to realise it doesn't have its own alphabet. Thank you very much for highlighting that. That's awesome. And Darwinski said, I always thought Sanskrit was called Sanskrit. No, that isn't the case, but that's great. I can understand completely why you thought that was the name. Sanskrit sounds really cool. It sounds like some sort of like deserty, ancient, lost desert language, the Sanskrit. Maybe someone should make that for like some sort of science fiction film or something. Is that something in June? Is there a Sanskrit in June? I should watch June or read June or something. I don't know. And Sharmana Dasaduta said, and of the same one as in San Francisco? Nope, so that's a great idea. Of course, as I mentioned, in the is the sun in Sanskrit and Sanjay mean the same thing. That's a silly thing about it being the same thing as San Francisco. That isn't the case, but great bit of humour. Of course, the sun in things like San Francisco and San Diego means saint in Spanish, but could mean the same thing if you really want it to, why not? So, last week I asked you guys to suggest a French name, and that's exactly what you've done. This week, I'm not going to ask for a specific language. I want you to go suggest some names that are deeply linked with one specific fictional character. I can't think of any examples off my head right now, but you guys will know what I mean. Things like Ebenezer, which is directly on just Ebenezer Scrooge. Things like that. Just go suggest a name, a real name, potentially real, from a fictional character. Go suggest it down in the comments below, and I will pick 3 of those to be put into a poll exclusively for my patrons to vote on. And then the winning name from that poll will be the name covered in the next Fun with First Names video. So if you enjoy the channel, want to help support it, and have a say in what names are explained, go to patreon.com/name explain, $1 a month. Helps out in a huge way. It pays for Amber. Obviously she's not here right now, but you can understand why I need her, because these videos are a mess when she isn't at the helm. I'm sure you guys can tell her that, but she'll be back next time. So yeah, patreon.com/name explain. You know what to do. But anyway, that's more than enough for myself. Don't forget to go for... But anyway, that's more than enough for myself. Don't forget to go follow me on Instagram, where I'm Name Explain YT, and don't forget to go join the Facebook group, Friends of Name Explained, where you can chat with myself and many other name nerds. Okay all, take care.